Hi anglers, we're in Texas, Sam Rayburn. We got here late last night, put a load of bait out, getting a few knocks and bobs through the night, but nothing really. First light, two or three commons started to roll over the bait. First take was about an hour ago, probably about 8-9 o'clock in the morning, the first morning. Got a take, hit it, wasn't sure what was what, kited, bang, hit a snag, snapped me off. So first take out of Sam Rayburn, cut me off. There you go, that's fishing. And a couple of minutes after, another rod goes. Very twitchy bites really, you know, they're not really going, but you know, anyway, I've got on top of it, 24-pound common, as you'll see on the video. So I'm pleased. I've got one and I've lost one, so found roughly where they are. This lake, I don't even know how many acres it is actually, but well, whether it's 300,000 plus or something, it is absolutely horrendous. We drove around a third of it, and well, it'll take you an hour to drive around it. It's so big, but yeah, we've got fish rolling. We're after the buffs. We're here for the buffs really. It's been a couple of 80-pounders out of here. Been bowed unfortunately, but if they're bowed in here, they're in here. So there's been a couple of 80s, there's been 50s and 60s and stuff. And I'm just after a buff, whatever size, just to say I've caught one out of the biggest lake in Texas. That's all, whether it's 10, 12 pound, it doesn't matter. I'm just here to catch that buff. Yeah, let's see what goes on, and stay tuned. And we've got another video coming up as well at Blackfoot, Resi, and that's going to be in about 4 weeks' time. We're travelling down through. We're going to do a little bit of Emma Long in Austin, do a little bit there for a couple of days, and then we're moving up. Eventually, early May, we're going to be at Blackfoot Resi in Idaho, going after the mirrors. So stay tuned, and hopefully I'll bring you some buffs from Sam Rayburn, Texas. 24-pound, first one on the bank for Texas for this year, and new lake. And the biggest one, biggest lake in Texas. That's why we're here. See if we can produce some big old kippers out of this one. Stay tuned. There we go. It's been a couple of hours since the little 6-pound buff. This is my second buff out of Sam Rayburn, 47-pound. If this is the last one that I've had on the trip, I've done it. That's all I wanted. Up a 40 or a 50 or something out of here. Look, every other fish is a bonus now. I've had a mid-20 common and a upper 40 buff on the first day. Look at that. Then they're jumping out. They'll just put out a couple of buckets of bait, and they're starting to roll and jump all over it now. And this just come out the blue. Nice steady take. Just that scale down on the hooks and the trace line, and smaller baits. They're a little bit finicky, but look at that. It worked anyway. There we go. Look, we've got a tornado watch. We've had a few takes, but got caught up in the weed and whatever, and we keep running backwards and forwards. It's been like really bad. The weather's been bad. It's been scary actually. And 25, so that's the biggest common so far. I'm still on the first day, and we've had about 3 inches of rain. Tornado watch, flood watch, but I'm still trying to battle it as best I can. There we go, there's another common. There we go, 40-pound, 8 ounce. Same day again, first day. Tornado watch, it's been raining, as I said earlier, ain't stopped. Absolute crazy. Yeah, just take out the blue, it's gone a bit quiet out there for about 3 hours. As you can probably hear, thunder, lightning all round us. But as long as these keep popping out, we keep pushing on. Well, this is the next day. Like last night, we had a storm from hell. Lightning, the rain. We had record breaking in this area for rain for Texas. Tornado watch, flood watch. So we couldn't fish. We was getting runs, but kept running out. I ran out of clothes. They're all just soaking wet. So I had to cool it a little bit last night. Bring all the rods in. Just put a load of bait out. Went out in the canoe. Put some bait out. Been out there 5 minutes. 5 minutes, and this little baby rattles off. 39-pound buff. Right guys, day 2. Yeah, as you see on the video probably earlier, I had a 39 first chap, 5 minutes. Then I went out in the canoe, the rum went, put a load of bait in, rum went, got back, Lisa got it halfway in, fish on the bank, 39, so that'll do us. So we've basically done it for day 2 already, the first 5 minutes. Now it's gone dead, load of bait's gone in, load of chickpeas flavoured up with a mainline IB, and double soaked with IB, and then we got the cubes, the range cubes, and we're putting out 5 kilo bucket of range cubes twice a day with the chickpeas twice a day. And after about an hour or 2 after the bait's in, the fish just come on it, and then the takes just start coming. The first night there was cat after cat after cat, and then the cats went quiet, and then the buff started crashing, common started crashing, bang, there was on the feed, and then the cats get pushed away. That's what it seems like in Texas. The cats get pushed out and the big fish move in. Once the bait goes, everything moves out, then you've got to start again, so you've got to try and keep it topped up. But the storm we had last night, we had a record breaking rain in this area of Texas at Sam Rayburn. So it was absolute torrential. I went through 3 lots of clothes, I was soaking wet. I had no other clothes to wear, so I had to reel in, call it, and it only stopped at first light. So this is like it's about 8 o'clock in the morning now, on the second morning. So we've had some good fish. We've had commons to 25, we've had buffs to 47, as you see on the video on day 1. So yeah, we've moved the set of pods down. I found a plateau, and they're not on the plateau. It's 13 to 16 foot deep. They're not on it. Most of the takes are in 23, 21 to 23. I'm fishing at 90 yards, sticking it out, getting it accurate on a marker rod and everything, doing it as best I can. But 90 seems to be the key. I've tried shorter, nothing. Tried on the shallows, nothing. It has to be on the right side, so I've moved the left pod down this morning to see if I can liven up the left pod, because it's all on these rods. All the fish have been on here, so let's hope they produce some fish further down, because I've used a deeper. The guys from Deeper sent me a deeper fish finder, and it's 100% must for your arsenal in your fishing gear. You've got to have it, even though I've still used a marker because I'm old school. But if there's bushes in the water and you don't know to swim, put the deeper out, drag it across. If it's bushes or massive rocks and you can see them, then you obviously don't cast the marker out, because you'll lose it. Don't know if that's a bite or... It's weird, the take started like that, did typical buff bites, and then the last couple have just been absolute one-toners, like think it's a common, and then it ends up being a decent buff, which is, after this rainstorm we had and the water's come up, I reckon it's come up probably 5 inches over 300 odd thousand acre Sam Rayburn Lake, which is a horrendous amount of rain. It shocked me how much rain we've had and lightning we've had, but it's come up that much. So whether it's put more oxygen into the water, and it's livened them up a little bit, because the bait, well, that bite was a twitch bite. That looked like a liner actually, because I've just put a load of bait out, so it's probably a liner. But the takes have been one-toners now, so and they're fighting a little bit better. So it sounds like the oxygen levels come up a little bit with the 4 or 5 inches of rain we've had in the oxygen level, yeah. So let's hope it encourages them to feed a little bit more, which it should. It's going to be about an hour or so, because the bait's just been put out, so it kills it a little bit, and then you get a couple roll over it. I've seen a couple of buffs roll, I've seen about 4 or 5 commons roll. Since I've been here I've heard them, but not always seen out there, because 90 yards out in the ocean, as you can see behind me, you don't see everything. You can hear them but don't see them. So yeah, I'll sign back later and hopefully I can show you some more buffs. 27 pound on the nose. Just lost a big buff on there's a stump out there to the left. It felt a really good buff. He just glided around and went straight on the snag. Anyway, this is on the other set of pod, just screamed off out the blue, which has been a dead rod really. But it's the biggest common, 27 pound. Here we go, straight after the 27, 30 pound, 8 ounce on the other set of pods. On the buff side actually, she spawned up, that's why she got a bit more weight. They're all about the peas in the pod, but some are spawned, some ain't. This one, she's full. Yeah, 30 pound, 8 ounce, 30 pound common, Sam Rayburn, Texas. Here we go, Buffalo, scraper 30. It's a little bit lively, yeah, scraper 30. It's gone quiet a little bit. Had a couple of them commons early, up to 30 and a half, and it went quiet. I lost a buff about an hour ago, but it's still a bit gone quiet from where it's been. And then this comes out of the blue, and hopefully the wind's blowing in now, so I don't know if they move on the wind or not. But there you go, it's another buff. There we go, 24 pound. I don't know what time it is. 12 o'clock at night on the third night. Fourth morning. Got loads of bait. This was my target fish. 50 pound 4. Sam Rayburn. Took 4 days to get it, but last night I put loads of bait out, dead quiet. I had a common in the night. I lost a couple this morning in the snags. A few stumps out there and a big huge weed bed. But managed to get this girl in. 50 pound 4. That's it. Anything on top of this one now is a bonus, but a 50 pound buff, that's what we come all this way from Canada to Texas. Look at this in the net, look at these. They're all baby catfish. Look, there's thousands and thousands of them. And this was only a quarter of the shoal that was close in. Just scooped them up. Look. Loads of catfish. I don't know what cats they are. Look at that. They're all going to be big old kippers one day. Let's let them all go. There they go. Look at them. They all know what way to go. First take just in the evening, 25 pound. I don't know, it's a common koi. I mean, whatever you want to call it, it's unique. Look at the colours on its tail. And 25 pound. First one on the 4th evening. Let's hope a few more of these pop up through the night. 41 pound out on the plateau. From the same spot as the koi, the old 25 pound koi there, 41 pound buff, out on about 90, it's about 90 yards on the back of the plateau, at 1 o'clock in the morning. Nice one. Well, we just got 4 takes at once. That one's going off at the background. I've got to sort that out. Just lost a real big fish. This one's 39 pound buff. Another one fell off. That one Lisa's just got. Look at that, it's just gone crazy. I mean, we had a couple of takes in the night, it's been quiet. It's probably about 9 o'clock in the morning. It must just be moving through. And then bang, 4 runs at once. Look at that. This is a 39 and hopefully that one will be in the same bracket. Get on the buffs. Sam Rayburn. you got to realise it's 115,000 acres lake, and finding them and getting on them like this, excellent. See you in a minute. Yeah, we had 4 takes at one heptic, but only banked one. I think it was a 38 or 39 you see earlier, and the other ones we lost in the snag. One fell off, and it just went crazy. You just couldn't handle it with the weed and the drop off here. But look at this little buff. So they've got to start small. I've got to show you a couple of these little babies, because that's what, when they get a little bit bigger, that's what makes the magic. When they're up in the 50 pound, look at that. Got to cherish these fish, these buffalo, they're beautiful. 24 pound 8 on the 5th evening. It's just got dark. Just had something to eat and this rattles off. It's normal. You get 1 or 2, 3 takes at night in the dark if you're lucky. And at first light it all kicks off. So hopefully we get back to you soon on some others. And hopefully some more buffs. 2 takes at once. This one's 30 pound on the dot. You see the common earlier on, got them both in, but got a bit tangled up on the other rods. But got them in anyway. There we go, 30 pound buff and a 20, I think it's a 24 pound common. We're on a 6 morning. Had a few commons last night, lost a couple more. Pulled another snagging bottle with a big lump of concrete on it. It's all like crawfish traps and stuff they put out here, so losing a few fish, but this one I ain't weighed it. It's probably 26 pounds, something like that. Male buff is very rough, so it's been up on the spawning beds. I don't know if, and it's milking a little bit, so that's why they're coming through in little groups. Go. 2 buffs, first light, and they're starting to crash over the baits again. They love the first light up to 12 noon here. That's the best time out of all through the night it's quiet, and from 7 till 12 noon is the best time. Let's get amongst some more of these. Yeah, up a double. Looks like it's a shoal of smaller buffs shifting through the swim. So they're all coming out of spawning beds. You can see they've got a little bit of damage on it. They're all spawning up. There you go. 24 and 3/4. Just sun's just coming down. I'm not going to bait up tonight. I'm going to start the swim out and see if we can get the odd one-off take and try and get back into bigger buffs. The more bait you put out, these little buggers stay around, and the little commons. I think I've had four or five commons a day as well, and a few quite. Well, it's about four. That's about the 5th buff now, isn't it, today? And they're all been sort of under 30 pound really. They've been small. So we're going to starve it out and see what happens. Just chuck out the method, CCH mix, just single baits on the rods, and just see if we can nick a couple of bigger fish for later. There we go, 21 pound. Had 2 or 3 small little commons and a couple of small buffs. And this is the 6th morning, first light. It's about 7:30. There we go, 21 pound common. But I'll just show you this one. So the other ones we just put back, the small, really small buffs, and the right small 14, 15 pound commons put back. This is the bait we're putting out. It's just chickpeas flavoured fruitella, mainline fruitella, like syrups. Yeah, soaked up, boiled, and it's got a bit of a calf mama mashed into it a little bit. Give it a little bit of the aniseed twist with it. The method mix has got CCH aniseed in it, and so with a little bit of aniseed mixed in with there, you know, give it a little twist and hopefully get on the ball. And then if you can see in there, that's all the range cubes, but they've got molasses in them, but I've poured neat molasses all over them so they soak into them and coat them right up so they're really sweet and sticky. So yeah, I'm putting out about probably 5 kilos or so of range cubes, and then the chickpeas, that's probably about 4 or 5 key probably weight in chickpeas, and that's what I put out. Use a kayak, get out there. I've got the marker out at 90 yards. It's in 21 feet. I've got 3 rods in between 22 and 20, and then I've got 3 rods from 20 to 16 feet coming up a gravel ledge. The commons are coming from the gravel. Typical commons, they like to go up on the gravel, especially at night, first light. They go up there and feed, and you nick the odd common from there. I've had the odd buff from there, but it's not a buff spot really. You want to be with stumps, snags, and at least 20 feet of water, I'd say. And the buff rods are the furthest rods that are in the deeper side. And there is the odd snag. I've pulled out. They put fish pots down with a little live fish in them, and they go back to them with buoys, and I caught up on a couple of them, pulled them in, lost a couple of good fish over them. I've pulled them in, bunged them on the bank. There's a couple of old markers and bits of concrete with rope on them and whatever. I mean, it's been a little bit of a learning curve picking up snags and stuff from out of here, but that's the way of life here. That's what they do. So anyway, I've cleaned the swim out really. It took like 3 days to get rid of the odd snag, and there's the odd stump out there, which is normal. So now I've got it pretty pat. I've moved rods and tried to work out exactly where the cleaner spots are from the snag side of it. Obviously it eliminates some runs, but I don't want to keep losing fish, so we moved up a little bit. Yeah, I'm just going to go out and put this out and see what happens. We're on the 6th day, 6th morning now. This is normally take time, but last night I thought I'd just start the swim out, use single baits, because I was catching loads of small buffs up to 23, I think 23, 24 pound, 17, 16, 6 pound buffs, 5 or 6 commons around the 15 to 21 pound, as you see earlier, the 21 pound earlier on the video. The others I threw back through the night. Not particularly want them. I mean, it's you know, it's nice to get runs and stuff, but it seems like I need to heavy bait it again and try and hold some bigger buffs that come through. But the buffs have got spawning bumps on them at the moment, so some of them are spawning, some are milking, and some of the commons are empty, as you see on the video, and some are full. So it's a complete mixed bag of, this is just this time of year. I mean, this is sort of end of March, well, I think it's end of March, early April. Say Sam Rayburn, I think you'd be better off to come mid-March, I'd say here. Mid-March, first, second week of March, I'm guessing, and just get them just before that spawning hit. But they're in between, so like they seem to disappear for a while, and then they come back in a vengeance, and you get like 3 or 4 runs in a couple of hours. It goes crazy. You can't put the baits out quick enough, and then it just dies. The fish just move through and they're gone. Another common just rolled out there. Yeah, the commons are rolling every couple of hours. If you stare out there, you'll see commons rolling, but you know, not many over 20 pound. A lot of them are small. So it's not a place to come for commons really, obviously, but it's the biggest lake in Texas. I've come here because I know there's been a couple of 80 pound buff out. I know they've been bowed, not been caught, and it's been the odd upper 50s and stuff like that. I know it's a needle and haystack, but it's just to say I've fished the biggest lake in Texas and give it a go. And yeah, I've had them up to 50. I've had two over 45, I think a 46 and a 47, 30s and 41s and stuff like that. So you know, I'm well pleased what I've had. It's just a thrill of each one. Another one could be that 80 or 70 or 90 pound buff. Yeah, so I mean, I'm fishing up on the west side, top arm on Sam Rayburn, in an RV park. We got the RV just behind us here. It was Easter weekend and it was packed, and there was a lot of people in the water, so sort of third of the time I had to reel in and keep the lines in because there was donuts going round, and you know, that's the way it is. Now it's gone quiet, there's no one here really, it's just us on the whole waterfront point, so we've got the whole lot, so now we can sort of keep the rods in 24/7 now and see what happens. But last night I did, and it never really changed anything. I don't think the boats and stuff and the activity bothers them. They're either here and they're eating, or they're gone. You know, it's as simple as that. And it's such a big lake, they come and go. They can't just sit in front of me eating this, because this stuff would only last 4 or 5 hours probably in the water, and that'd be a lot. It'd be done. The cats, I've had, I don't know, 30, 40 cats or whatever, little tiny cats. And every time you put a ball out, they're on it, bang, bang, bang. And then times where you cast out and the cats are not on it, and then you think, oh, hold on a minute, there's bigger fish in the swim, and then the odd common, and then the odd buff comes out, and you know it's pushed the cats out. So yeah, so I'm just going to go out there now. I've got the marker out at 90 in 20 feet, and I'm baiting either side of the marker, and I've got 3 rods this side and 3 rods on the plateau on this side, the plateau deeper on that side. So it's coming up on a ledge like this, so the buffs are coming lower down or mid, and then up the top I've only had 1 buff at the top on the shallow, but it's all the commons. The commons roll in the daytime on the plateau, and you nick the odd common. But I've had commons up to 30, I've had a couple of mid-20s, 24s and things. I mean, you know, it's been exactly how it should be really. That's what I expected. And all I want is that thrill of that one just to pick up. I mean, I've lost 2 or 3 buffs that are really slow and heavy, but the 40 pounders are slow and heavy, so you can't say, you know, if they were massive 80 pounds. So well, hopefully they're not, and I didn't lose it, so, and I've still got the chance of it coming through. I've got 2 more nights, and then we're venturing over to Emma, give Emma a free night, a little go, because we're moving that way, and then we're going to Arizona, and then weather permitting, we'll go up to Idaho and go up to Blackfoot Resi, try and get amongst some of them scaly mirrors, and that'll be end of April, early May, if the weather's dry up there. So hopefully I can do a video on that, and hopefully you enjoyed this video, and hopefully there's a few more fish to come, and I will see you soon. Right, just want to let you know we're in Augustus Park, Sam Rayburn Lake, and we're on campsite 63. As you can see, there's the pad. I just scan around there. All that bank there. That's like all that bank you see there. That's 62 is like 23 foot deep. I've got 3 rods in that. You can see them in the centre of the frame. Then as you come round to the actual campsite at 63, which is there, I've got a set of pods there, and that goes out to the left of the plateau. The plateau goes more right, so I'm in 19 to 13 foot on them rods, and the other rods are 20 feet, 23 feet. The buffs seem to come on the left side. Must be about 15 key of bait out there, and they're just starting to move on it. $35.5 after the 34 earlier. Look at that. It's just starting to get dark. You normally get 1 or 2 runs now, and then it goes quiet till 12, 1 in the morning, and then you nick another couple, and then you have to wait till the next morning. Look at that. It's just quite white actually. It's got a couple of little marks, but so they're spawning up. They're going through the spawn, they're coming off, and they're starving hungry. This is the male. Look at that. It's another mid-30 to the list. They're coming in. They're upper 20, 28 pound buff on the 6th evening after the 34 and the 35.5 we had earlier. It's just got dark now. I mean, it's got about 10 o'clock at night. It went quiet for a couple of hours, and then this buff rattles off. Nice one. 28 pound. There we go, 36 pound, straight after the other couple of buffs on the 6th evening. It's about 10 o'clock at night, something like that. It's on the other set of pods. That was in 19 foot of water, this one. And the others are in the 23. They got right on that bait now, that heavy baiting we did. They're straight on it now, look at that. That's what it's all about. There we go, 7th morning, 40 pound, 5 ounce. 40 pound 5. We had a few buffs last night, 36, 34s, 28, something like that. This is first light. I had 2 commons just now, an 18 and a 15, and this one just twitchy bob, stayed there, picked it right up, and it was just rattling on the end. Yep, just over 40 pound. Nice, look at that. Yep, 27.5 common. We've had about 6 commons today, all little ones. I think we had 1 scrape of 20 earlier, but this is a little bit bigger. She's spawned up, good condition. And we've got a tornado warning, as you can probably see in the background now, black. Tornado warning coming through. That one's missing us, but we've got one coming. So hopefully we don't get here, because we're right on the point here and we're a bit vulnerable. And large owl stones forecast as well, and severe wind. So let's hope we miss that and get a few more of these on the go. Otherwise we'll have to move off the point if it gets that bad. For that 27.5 pound common. Nice one. Well guys, we're at St. Rayburn, Texas, South Augustus Park. We've been here seven nights. We're leaving in about 2 hours, moving on to Emma Long in Austin, just to do 3 nights on a stopover to Arizona, then up to Blackfoot Reservoir. Hopefully get amongst some scaly mirrors if all the weather works out up there, because it's 11,000 above sea level up there, so we don't know what the weather's like, so we're planning it by ear. We've got 3 weeks of touring around Arizona and stuff, still on holiday. Yeah, what can I say? Sam Rayburn, love it. Biggest lake in Texas, that's why I was here, just to give it a go and just say I fished the lake, biggest lake in Texas, that's all. And if I caught a couple of buffs, which that's what we're after, which would have been, you know, just the key. We ended up with 48 fish. We had commons to 30 pound, 27s, 25s, 24s, all the way down to about 11 pound. A few of them, you know, obviously the smaller ones we put back, same as the buffs, we put the small ones back and film everything. I lost about 18 fish through the stumps and stuff out and snags. There's plus people put like a cage out, a wire cage, put fish in it and they anchor it and stuff like that, and then the odd boys drop off. And anyway, it ended up with snags. I've pulled them in and they're on the bank, and so I lost some fish around them. I lost a couple of good fish. I know it's the same old, but they were real slow and heavy. Obviously buffs, and you don't know, they could have been 40, they could have been more, but this lake's holding 80 pound buffs, and that's what we're here for, you know, to get that chance in the thrill of that one run could be the 80 pounder. So the biggest fish we had was, I think it was just over 50. We had 47, we had a 46, 40, 41s, 40s, 39, 2 39s, as you can see all on the videos you've seen, all the way down to literally 11 pound again. Lovely, cute little buffs, I love them, love the look of them. Yeah, again, loved it. At times it was hectic. We have like 3-4 takes at once. It'd go nuts for about an hour odd. We found the best time was first light till 12 o'clock noon, out of all the 7 days. I mean, it changed backwards and forwards a little bit. Last night was slow. The night before was really good. Obviously, you just got to wait for them to move through. Now we're up on one of the arms. We're up on the, I think it's the southeast arm, and it's 23 feet out here, the deepest, and it goes right up. It goes all in the little back channels and stuff that are really shallow. And they've been spawning, so some of the buffs have been battered up a little bit, and the commons have been battered, and some of the commons have been really empty, so they've lost some weight, and then some of them have been fat. Like obviously the 27s and 30, like the scrape of 30 was full of eggs, so lucky enough I got all with eggs in it and just sort of toppled the 30 mark. But the others were spawned out and a bit damaged, and some of the buffs were, and they were all dotty, you know, the males were all dotty all over their heads and that, which I've never seen before, because we're a little bit later this year. Yeah, if I'd come out again, or advise anyone to come out to fish this lake in Texas, I would come probably early March to mid-March at the maximum. I wouldn't come at the end of March because now it's early April. It's a little bit late, but that's why we went up on the shallow arm. So if they come out the spawning beds or go in the spawning beds, then we've got them either way. And when the weather changed from sun, we had some tornado warnings, heavy rain, and when the heavy rain come and tornado warnings happen and the lightning come, it pushed them out of the bays, and then we started catching fish. But it's been consistent, really. I've not gone more than, say, 3-4 hours without a run. It's been pretty steady all the way through, really. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Recommend coming down to Sam Rayburn and giving it a go. Really giving it a go. It's worth it. There is some access points. It's not a lot of access points for the lake to fish, but just go to the RV parks, get the map, work it out. Now, this spot, it's got a plateau on the right side, and this side on this set of rods is in 23 feet, and I'm fishing at 90 yards with a method ball. And there's stumps and stuff out there. The buffs like that side. The bigger buffs are all from this side. I've had I think I've had a 47, the odd run from up on the plateau, and it's about 17-18 foot gravel bottom, lovely, typical carp spot. Most carp from up that end, and they jump there in the day as the sun comes up. They all crash off that point, and it attracts you to there. So anyway, I've always had 1 or 2 rods out on that spot. And they've always been commons normally, or the odd buff. But when these babies go, normally the buffs come out on this side, and the 30-pounder actually common come out on the deeper water as well. So that's why I sort of wanted this point, really. I sort of studied it, looked at the map, and I've booked this certain site. This is site 63 in South Augusta's Park, up on the east arm of Sam Rayburn. Yeah, better say, if you fish the point shallow, fish down a little bit. There's a big gap between campsites, this one. I think 65, 60, 63, and obviously it staggers across. But anyway, it's a big gap here, and you can basically put 6 rods along here, 2 people, spread right out, no problem. You know, it's the best site, the best spot, and the best ambushing spot. Yeah, I mean, it's a huge lake. I know to be the bend, like the one next to it, that borders Louisiana and Texas. I know they just had a tournament now. I know it's a bow fishing tournament, which I'm not happy with, but this is what they do down here. And they had a 248-pound alligator gar, which is the Texas record. Unreal. I'll see a video of it. It's just huge. And in here as well, there's 200-pound alligator gars in here. I've been talking to local people, and they said they go out on the boats and see them laying around. They're just massive. Love to put a hook in one of them, but that's for another trip, I suppose. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to sign off. Hope you liked the fish we had in the video, and a little bit of footage that we did to put it together, just to show you a little bit about this place. And we're off to Emma Long, just to do back to my old haunts a little bit, just to do a little stopover and see if we can get one out of there, and then carry on with our holiday in our little trailer. And it's called the Carp Pod, funny enough. So well done, boys, and hope you enjoyed this video, and hope you learned a little bit, and hopefully you come up here and then get your PB buff. See you later, boys.